hate me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons podcast.
You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
Florida man by the name of James Holloway, you know what I mean, says he was abducted and kidnapped by a group of dolphins. And then when I first heard they evaluated him and they found this and that in his lungs, it indicated that he'd been under there for, I thought, well, damn. In Frisco, in my city, you know what I mean, there's a petition going around in Frisco, you know what I mean, for ballots going on the bill in November. You know what I'm saying? One's for like some type of tax transparency. You know what I'm saying? You got the names, and where did the names come from? Who sent you? Who put the names on the list? Diddy filed for immediate release, with his lawyers saying that what was dismissed, the other charges said, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You do the time, you do the crime, you gotta do the time. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be cool living conditions. I don't know what you were thinking about. You know what I mean? What's going on? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? What is going on? It's Kons Podcast, episode 371 today. You know what I mean? Episode 371. We're gonna go over a rumor that's been going around. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into some bad politics that's been going on, and we also gonna talk about Diddy. You know what I mean? Filing for wanting release. You know what I'm saying? That's everything we're gonna be going over today. You know what I mean? How y'all doing? Thank all y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Thank all y'all for tuning in. As y'all heard in the little briefing, the intro, you know what I'm saying? The little 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 second clip, you know what I mean, that you just heard in the intro. That's everything we're gonna be talking about. That's what I was talking about. Those is definitely clips from this episode. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if this is your first time in, this is where we go over the news, go over headlines, go over whatever headlines you might have seen or whatever website that you seen when you logged on to your computer. Whether your home page is Google News, Yahoo News, MSNBC News, you know what I'm saying, Hip Hop DX, wherever it is that you get your headlines from. I'm probably touching and covering on 1, 2, or 3 of them right here on Kons Podcast. You know what I'm saying? This is episode 371. I hope all y'all is doing cool. You know what I mean? It's a good Wednesday, 4:26 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? It's 90 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we finna be hitting that 100-degree weather, and I hate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely miss the cold. You know what I mean? Y'all know me, man. I don't like this heat and all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said last time, you know what I mean? Put your hoodies up, put your coats up, put your furs up, and all that type of good stuff. Time to hang that on up. You know what I mean? Get the t-shirts out, get the shorts out. You know what I'm saying? Get the fitted hats out. This is the type of weather that we about to be approaching. You know what I mean? But yeah, though, like I said, man, we're gonna touch on these topics. I got 3 of them for you, along with the clips and all that to go right along with it. You know what I mean? If you like this video, you know what I'm saying? If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Share it out. If you don't even want to subscribe to it, share it out so somebody else can possibly enjoy it. You know what I mean? Let me keeping y'all updated on this wicked world. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, without no more further ado, you know what I'm saying? Without no more chit chat, banter, you know what I'm saying? Let's jump right into these topics. You feel me? So Florida man by the name of James Holloway, you know what I mean, says he was abducted and kidnapped by a group of dolphins. Said he was swimming, you know what I mean, and was given some type of breathing device by the lead dolphin named Gerald. Said they pulled him to some underground and wanted him to build some type of underground city structure. You know what I mean? Said they was communicating them with clicks and something like that of that nature, how they was communicating, you know what I mean? And somehow he said he was able to understand them. When the doctors evaluated him, you know what I'm saying, to see if he had any type of head trauma or if he was high or on cocaine, this is a wild story. So when the doctors analyzed him, they said that he had seaweed and like sea sand in his lungs. You feel me? This would indicate that he'd been underwater for quite some time. You know what I mean? Then he said they brought him back to shore, said they will come and get him for phase 2. You know what I mean? Now this sounds just like how it sounds wild. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into all this and cover all this and shut all this down in a minute, you know what I mean? So the next little clip that you're gonna see, you know what I mean? They also said the feds was investigating the site. But people, this is a prime example that people don't do research, you know what I'm saying? People just take everything, these little headlines for what they are and run with it, you know what I mean? So the next little clips you're gonna see is just clips on this Dolphin man. It's gonna tell you the story on what happened and what was said and all this and that. You know what I mean? Check these clips out.
The man claims to have been kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. The man was found early Monday morning on the side of a beach in Lee County, soaking wet, dehydrated, and confused. When deputies arrived, he was drawing detailed diagrams in the sand. According to the man, a pod of dolphins took him while he was swimming and brought him to a place about 40 feet under the surface. He said they forced him to help build underwater structures. He told deputies the dolphins communicated with him using clicks. He said the group had a leader named Gerald who somehow helped him breathe underwater, possibly by creating an airspace. The man spent 3 days working on what he described as cities, towns, and condo-like structures. When the dolphins were satisfied with his work, they sent him back to the surface and told him they would return for phase 2. Medical staff treated him for dehydration, but found no signs of head injury or mental confusion. Tests showed seawater and marine particles in his lungs, suggesting he had been deep underwater for a long time without typical lung damage. This was unusual and raised questions for doctors. The man holds a master's degree in aerospace engineering and has experience with deep-sea technology, which he says is why the dolphins chose him. Some people think the story is false, but the physical evidence has made others curious. Let me know what you think.
You heard about the story of Ricky James Hallowell, a 33-year-old man from Florida? According to the bizarre claims circulating online, he says he was abducted by dolphins and spent 3 days underwater with them. Lee County Sheriff's Office responded to the Sanibel Causeway early Monday morning after a driver reported a man standing on the curb, soaking wet and drawing blueprints in the sand. And what were the plans for? According to him, they were blueprints for an underwater dolphin city. Hallowell claims the dolphins kept him alive underwater, saying the leader of the group, apparently a dolphin named Joraid, handled that part. He also says he somehow learned to understand their clicking language, allowing them to communicate while he drew and designed their plans. Eventually, he says the dolphins released him after he did a good enough job. But before letting him go, they allegedly told him something unsettling. Don't worry. We'll be back for phase 2.
Is trying to hide the fact that Gerald the dolphin does exist and did kidnap that man. This is the most insane thing I've ever said. A lot of people from Lee County, Florida are sending me videos of the area where it allegedly happened. And I grew up in Florida, so I understand crazy is crazy because I saw crazy when I lived there, and crazy is crazy. And there are helicopters landing on islands, there are FBI agents, there are a lot of people investigating the situation. I once had a conversation with a manatee, but it didn't try to kidnap.
So as you're saying, you know what I mean, I heard the stories, you know what I'm saying, of this dolphin man. I mean, I did some research myself, because I was like, what? You dolphin, you swam with dolphins? They communicate with you and had you build some type of structure underground because you had some type of years of underground knowledge. You had some type of years of building stuff underground, whatever it was, military, whatever they said. You know what I mean? It was all a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? People ran with that. Somebody was made up by some type of satire account on Facebook. They created this and people ran with it. You know what I mean? People ran with it without doing no type of research. So these next little clips you're going to see is just clips pretty much debunking that. People who have done the research, and it will clearly tell you that it is not true. Check it out.
So it turns out that all of this was fake, which I think we all knew that it was fake news, but it was entertaining. I know I died laughing because someone actually showed up at work and told us a story about how her daughter came across a TikTok talking about how whatever the hell it is that he did for a living was found washed up ashore, was taken in by cops, and how they take him to hospital to evaluate him to see if he was alert and oriented, see if he had any substances in his system, because this man was talking about how he was kidnapped by dolphins who took him, I think, like 40 feet or 40 meters deep into the sea. 3 days to have this man design some sort of a city. He succeeds in creating whatever blueprint it is that they needed. They return him and they tell him that they were going to come back and find him for phase 2. So for a couple days now, before actually Googling if this is true or not, because a lot of people are talking about this, I've been sitting here just wondering, how is Gerald going to find this man for phase 2? Also, I've come across posts, who knows if they're valid or not, stating that these are recordings from the beach where the man was found. And in these posts, they show that there are helicopters just circling around the shore, and everyone's theory is that they're looking for Gerald. So I've been worried about this damn dolphin for a couple days now. You know, I've been over here thinking conspiracy theorists, the aggressive ones, are probably going to gather and conspire against poor Jerry, and I hope Jerry's hiding, but it's nice to know that Jerry doesn't exist.
Wait, me, don't
Following
you?
those conspiracy theorists that are out there saying, like, the dolphin story is real and what the guy was saying is real because all the evidence points to that, I'm telling you this right now, if you're following any conspiracy theorist or anybody that's doing any sort of video on that trying to claim that they believe the dolphin guy, unfollow them right now. If you care about the truth at all, unfollow them. And here's why. Okay, please do not scroll away. Just hear me out. The dolphin story never happened. Not just the story that the guy told, the entire thing. There was no guy who told a story. It derived from a satire account, and it is satire, and it started as satire, and it became this idea that people thought there was a news story on it, but there was no news story. So if you're following a conspiracy theorist that just flat out is like, I believe the guy, I think that we need to believe the guy, we need to do an investigation, no, there's not. It's all made up. The entire thing is made up, and you guys fell for it. And if you fell for it, I need you guys to understand, learn from this experience, never just take anything at face value, and do your own research into things, okay? So we don't end up having people believing dolphins are sentient or the earth is flat or, just anything like that. So let's just look into things before you frickin' just believe things.
I mean, that was definitely couple people who did their research definitely know that this is fake news. You know what I mean? This is definitely false. You know what I'm saying? I even was believing it when I first heard it. You know what I mean? When I first heard they evaluated him and they found this and that in his lungs, it was indicated that he'd been under there for, I thought, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be true. I mean, I don't know. But, yeah, this ain't true. This is definitely fake news. You know what I mean? The Gerald the Dolphin story. Yeah, and then you can't even find dude. You look his name up, can't even find him nowhere, not on Facebook or none of that. So this was definitely some made up stuff. You know what I mean? But this is the era we in, people. It's AI taking over. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's real no more. We don't know what's real. You know what I'm saying? They can create anything they want out here, make you believe anything. As this just proves that. You know what I'm saying? In Frisco, in my city, you know what I mean? There's a petition going around in Frisco, you know what I mean, for ballots going on the bill in November. You know what I'm saying? One's for like some type of tax transparency, and one was requiring one was for tax transparency and requiring audits, you know what I'm saying, on building a better California. And also it was a retirement and savings act that they was trying to sign into position to be put on the ballot for November. That was paying a bunch of homeless people, people who don't have, people who are worst off, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of other people lining them up. People was lining up to get that $5. That was paying people $5 to come and sign this petition. Had a list of registered names, though. This is where it get tricky. They had a list of registered names, a whole bunch of different names that they was having these people line up, paying them $5 to sign somebody else's name on this petition and the address of these people. You know what I'm saying? Now here, it was like, here, this is you gonna put whoop-de-whoop, and this is the address. You know what I mean? Tell them to sign a whole nother motherfucker's name. It's craziness. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely something illegal. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it's bad for the people in the video. You know what I'm saying? The news coverage that you're gonna see blurted out, but I got the actual video that you're gonna see where they are not blurred out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the best little clips you're gonna see, you know what I mean? You're gonna see the dude who recorded first, you're gonna see the news clip, you're gonna see the dude who recorded the video, the actual video of him walking in the line, asking dude what is this line for, and then you're gonna see a netizen, you know what I'm saying, somebody else that spoke on it and talked about how illegal it is and this and that, how they not requiring ID for voting and all this and that. Check these clips out.
Possible fraud as some campaigns collect signatures for proposed ballot initiatives for the November election. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Curtis May.
And I'm Edie Lambert. This investigation centers on this video that is circulating online. It appears to show paid paid signature collectors in San Francisco offering money to people on the streets if they sign the petitions using other people's voter registration information. This would be a violation of state law. KCRA 3's political director Ashley Zavala is here now, so let's start with who's involved.
Yeah, well, this video is raising a lot of flags for folks tonight. These signature gatherers are people who are paid to find registered voters and get those voters to sign petitions, and when they get enough signatures, the proposal lands on the ballot and is presented to you, the voter. It is against the law for anyone to forge someone else's information, but the man who captured the scene on video tells us that's exactly what has been happening in San Francisco.
I get $5 too?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Just sign it.
Just sign it?
Yeah. You ready now? First name is going to be Carol.
San Francisco street videographer J.J. Smith capturing what appears to be a crime on camera. Paid signature gatherers offering people $5 to sign ballot initiative petitions using other people's names and information. Smith shot and posted this video on Monday.
What I seen shocked me and surprised me because they was literally coaching people, telling them what name to sign and what address to put down there. And what was more shocking than that is they had that information printed out already on an official document.
We've learned the signature collectors in Smith's video were doing so for ballot initiatives backed by billionaires fighting a proposed wealth tax. The measures include proposals to invalidate the tax, require audits, and other tax transparency tools. The campaigns for that are known as Building a Better California and Californians for a More Transparent and Effective Government. Another petition was for a separate campaign for a proposed Retirement and Personal Savings Protection Act. All three campaigns acknowledged their petitions were being carried by these signature gatherers. Today I spoke with representatives for each campaign. All said they were made aware of the video. They're demanding the firm identify these circulators seen in the video and reject their petition.
Hey, what's the line for sign petition? Shut up! Don't say nothing no more. Get $25 to sign a petition. You get $25? $5. $5. Okay. Did you have to have your ID? I'm not sure. Okay.
Never.
I never been so disrespectful in my life.
It's okay. They laughing at you. You don't let them.
What do I need?
They laughing.
My bad, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, just.
What is this?
Him?
Right here?
I don't know. What name do you got? What name is that?
The Crocker.
Jeffrey Crocker. We'll be here. Come back. Yeah, you here. You only signed 2 of them so far, right?
Yeah. Now just scribbling and having. He signed 2 of them?
Yeah, don't scribble on this.
Signed 2 of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna lie, keep getting on, so.
It's gonna get I get $5 too?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Just sign it.
Just sign it?
Yeah. You ready now? First name is going to be Carol. Last name Sanderson. This is their address right here. This is the city, Avila Beach. This is the zip code. Oh, so remember, first name is Carol. I got you. Sign in here.
Afternoon in San Francisco, 6th and Mission, a woman sitting at a table covered in California ballot petitions, a line of homeless people lining up around the corner waiting for their $5 bills. And she's handing out $5 bills, but not for their signatures, for your neighbor's signatures. She had a printed list, real names, real addresses, real registered voters who have no idea this is happening. She highlighted the name, told them what to write, what address, over and over and over again. For 2 hours, hundreds of people. California Secretary of State just opened an investigation. But here's the question nobody's asking. Who printed that list? Where did the voter registration data come from? Full breakdown on my channel. Links in the comments. See ya.
Now, as you seen, you know what I mean? You seen dude walk up in the line, you know what I'm saying? Ask him like, yeah, you know what I mean? $5, what is this for? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, just sign. All you got to do is sign. You know what I mean? You get the $5. I guess some people were signing more than one petition, getting $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, you know what I mean? Depending on how many they signed, they was giving them $5 each. Now, this is crazy and wild. You know what I mean? This is kind of, I don't know if this is desperation or if this is like something drastic that they wanted to do to try to get these things on the bill coming up in November. I don't don't know. But there's definitely some type of desperation because, I mean, you got to know that's illegal. I mean, you're signing somebody else's name other than yours on the paper. You know what I'm saying? On the line. That's definitely some type of forgery at a high degree. You know what I'm saying? You got the names and where did the names come from? Who sent you? Who put the names on the list and gave it to you to have people sign and come down and give them $5 a pop to sign something? They don't even know what they signing. They just want that $5. You know what I mean? Where you get the names from? Who selected them? Are they random? Are they on purpose? Are they purposely pointing out names, addresses of these people? There's so many questions. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, man, where did you come from? Where did you get these names from? Who sent them to you? Where's the sources at? You know what I mean? Who sent what? Where did it come from? Whose idea was this to pay people $5 to come sign off somebody else's name and somebody else's address? And these people just in line, lined up for it, not even caring. They just want that $5. You know what I'm saying? Wow, man. This is wild, man. You know what I mean? I thought this was wild, so I definitely had to put this in there. You know what I mean? This is definitely some wild political movements right here. You know what I mean? In my city. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon this interruption, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, now is your time while I'm interrupting my episode, you feel me, for you to hit that subscribe button. If you ain't hit that shit, now is your time to hit that subscribe button right now, you feel me? Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? That means you're gonna get notified every time I drop some of this fire content that I'm dropping for you Monday through Friday, you know what I mean? Please hit that bell and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment on what you want to say, on what you feel about these topics that I'll be covering. You know what I'm saying? Pardon the interruption though, you feel me? Let's go ahead and get back to the episode. Just wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button in case you haven't done it yet. Now's your time. Did you do it yet? Because I just gave you time. Let's get back to the episode. Diddy filed for immediate release, with his lawyer saying that what was dismissed, the other charges, said it's too much for the charge they hit him with. Said it's not fair, especially with time served, and plus they slapped on another 4 years. You know what I'm saying? For the trafficking that he got. They don't feel it's fair, and they asked for immediate dismissal or a retrial based on other charges that was dismissed outside of the trafficking charge. You know what I'm saying? So the next little tip you're gonna see is more on this matter of Diddy on an immediate release. This was filed on Friday. Check it out.
The fucking hardest hustler in the world. This is Savage Part 2. Don't tell me about shit. It's 2022 and I'm still a savage. Whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I fucking get.
Diddy pushes for immediate release from prison in new appeal. Diddy has launched a new bid to be released from prison, claiming his 4-year sentence is too harsh. The bad boy boss was sentenced to 50 months behind bars last year after being convicted of 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, violations of the Mann Act, but acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. In a new appeal filed on Friday, March 13, lawyers for Diddy slam the sentence as a perversion of justice, and argue that the hip-hop mogul should either be immediately freed and granted a judgment of acquittal or for the court to vacate and remand for resentencing. They accuse Judge Arun Subramanian, who presided over the trial, of engaging in acquitted conduct, sentencing, which refers to the controversial practice of imposing harsher punishments based on rejected allegations. Puffy's legal team, who had pushed for him to spend just 14 months in prison, claimed that his 50-month sentence effectively punishes him for crimes that he was not found guilty of. They note that the length of his sentence is roughly 4 times higher than normal for Mann Act-related convictions. What is the point of a jury trial if your sentence is driven by what you were acquitted of doing? The filing asks. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit will now review the arguments, with oral arguments scheduled to take place on April 9. Diddy is currently set to be released from prison on April 25, 2028, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons website. The 56-year-old is being held at FCI Fort Dix, a low-security federal prison in New Jersey that was his preferred location to serve his sentence. Soon after he was sentenced, Diddy's lawyers argued that it would be the best place for him to address his drug abuse issues and maximize family visitation and rehabilitative efforts. In November, the first photos of Puffy behind bars surfaced online, showing him looking in good spirits, albeit with gray hair, while hanging out with other inmates in the prison yard. However, it hasn't been all smooth sailing in prison for the "I'll be missing you" hitmaker. Last year, he was reportedly busted for possessing alcohol, specifically a homemade brew known as hooch, which is made with Fanta, sugar and apples. Thoughts? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leo
Diddy Combs has just filed a brand new bid to get out of jail before his sentencing in a few months. From arguing he shouldn't be locked up for his swinger lifestyle, to highlighting the atrocious conditions at the MDC, to addressing allegations of violence, he is fighting for his life in this new letter to the judge.
Diddy was gone from the courtroom, but the echoes of his voice still haunted the space he'd left behind. His words, his rage, his denial. They still lingered like smoke after a fire. No one forgot how he tried to flip the script.
Will Sean Diddy Combs be released from jail? I know I've asked that question before so many different times here on Sidebar, but we have right now a brand new request from his legal team, a brand new filing from his defense team arguing for why he should be released now, after that monumental verdict in his criminal case several weeks ago. The circumstances have changed, and I will tell you what, we did an interview a few weeks back that kind of previewed why and how Combs could be released. It was a bail bondsman that is apparently working with Diddy's team behind the scenes. I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but what I want to talk about right now is this latest letter from the defense to the judge overseeing this case, Judge Arun Subramanian. Remember, this comes after a jury of Combs' peers found him not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of 2 counts of sex trafficking, but they did convict him of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He's set to be sentenced on October 3rd. Technically, he could face up to 10 years in prison on each charge.
I was just letting you know more information that Diddy is wanting an immediate release. You know what I mean? Being he like, hey man, them other charges was dismissed. What's going on? Why am I doing 4 months for this charge? Now, if you look it up though, you know what I'm saying? You should be good with that 4 months because this charge carried like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you only got 4 months. You know what I'm saying? You only got 4 years. You only got 50 months or something like that, which is about 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You should take that in stride. You know what I mean? I don't know. You talking about living conditions? I don't understand how when people do a crime, you know what I'm saying, get the gavel dropped on them, and then they complain about living conditions in prison. I don't understand that. I never will. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? You do the time, you do the crime, you gotta do the time. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be cool living conditions. I don't know what you were thinking about. You know what I mean? Every time I hear about this, it's like, oh man, the living conditions is poor. I mean, you're in prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why people complain about living conditions in a prison. You know what I mean? You're in a prison. You feel me? You have an uncomfortable mat. They lay down on a hard concrete bed. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get fed crappy food, you know what I mean? You're gonna have staff that don't care about you, don't care about your well-being. You can have a medical, and I've never even been to the feds, you know what I mean? But this is just standard common knowledge. This is just information that we all know. We ain't never even have to been in the feds to understand this, you know what I'm saying? The living conditions are poor. Yeah, it's not breaking news, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man, you know what I'm saying? They want to put that, a lot of people put that in these fireworks that these people want to file the judges and all that. The living conditions is poor, the food is slop. Like, if the food don't taste good, they're serving it to me on a brown platter with four or five squares in it and putting this nasty, like, yo, come on, man. This is prison. You know what I'm saying? This is prison. This ain't no resort. This ain't no vacation. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I doubt if they'll let him get out early, you know what I'm saying, or give him an early release. I don't know, you know what I mean? But the power of money, power of lawyers, and jumbo legal talk, maybe they can persuade the judge to let him out early, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? But it seems kind of wild to me, you know what I mean? It seems kind of outrageous that you asking for that. I don't think they gonna grant that to you. I don't think they will, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Money talk, they could be persuaded by bread. The judge seemed like he wasn't budging on bread though during the trial. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna get granted. I don't think they just gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Just let you out early, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for today, though. You know what I mean? That's all I got for today. Episode 371. You know what I mean? These 3 little topics I wanted to share with y'all. Put it out to the world. You know what I mean? In case you might have pulled up. You know what I mean? In case you pulled your drink up and it was a little too potent, and you rolled up, hit the tree, and you was like, damn, this is a little bit more heavier than I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Got a little louder. Maybe you heard your kids fighting upstairs over Roblox or over Minecraft. Who could turn it was fighting over controllers. You heard some commotion. Kids were starting to body slam each other. You had to go check it out. In case you missed what I talked about, this is everything I just let you know. I talked about the Florida man by the name of Ricky James Hollowell said he was abducted by dolphins. said they told him to build an underground structure underwater, about 40 meters under. That was debunked. That was all lies. Also let you know about a petition that's going on in my city, getting people to sign ballots under other people's identity and address and giving them $5 to do so. Also let you know about Diddy filed for this immediate release, talking about the living conditions is poor. And he won't time out because they dismissed the other charges, and he won't release because he don't feel that the one they charged him with carries all that time. Little does he know it does carry that time. But yeah, that's all I have for today though, you know what I mean? That's everything I had for today. That's my quick little recap, you know what I'm saying? Thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank all y'all for watching. You know what I mean? Because we know you could have been doing anything you wanted to do. No matter who you was. You know what I mean? Whether you was a little brother or an older sister, whether you was a little cousin, an older cousin, whether you was a niece, a nephew, an uncle, an auntie, a mother, father, grandma, grandpa. You know what I mean? You could have been cousin Pookie, cousin Mookie, cousin Man, you know what I mean? And if y'all got pets sitting there and your pet is sitting there watching it with you, you know what I mean? Whether your pet could be a little pet, a little dog, you know what I mean? A little chihuahua, a little hedgehog, a little hamster, you know what I'm saying? You can have a little pet rat, a little pet gerbil, a little pet bearded dragon, a little lizard sitting on the table, you know what I'm saying? You got some goldfish, an ant farm, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? If they got eyes on Kons Podcast, definitely salute to them. Like you see that emoji scrolling up that screen, giving you that good salute, you know what I mean? But thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank all y'all for watching. You know what I'm saying? The beat you hear creeping up was made by none other than Amazing Beats. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to my dog O. You know what I'm saying? So listen to this beat as a kick in the background. You know what I'm saying? As y'all read these little little bit comments on these topics that I put up. You know what I mean? And tell you to comment and all that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I mean? It's been episode 371. I'll see y'all on the next episode.
Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you?